Rick and Morty continues to trudge through a disappointing Season 7 with another Morty-free episode that relies more on familiar storylines and characters than original ideas. Air Force Wong sees the president attempting to woo Rick's therapist, Dr. Wong, as he recruits Rick to save Earth from his ex-girlfriend, the hive mind Unity, who has infected the entire population of Virginia. The episode perpetuates the Season 7 trend of recycling old material to much lesser effect. Ian Cardone and Harry Belden have successfully replaced the show's fired star and co-creator Justin Roiland in the roles of Rick and Morty, but the scripts they're working with are nowhere near as sharp or well-crafted as previous seasons. Air Force Wong was written by Alex Rubens, who has traditionally been one of Rick and Morty's strongest writers. Rubens worked on such classic episodes as Big Trouble in Little Sanchez. He also wrote for Community and Key and Peele, two of the greatest TV comedies of the 21st century, so expectations were high for a Rubens-penned Season 7 episode of Rick and Morty. Air Force Wong isn't a bad Rick and Morty script. It moves at a fast enough pace and it has some smart lines, but the episode suffers from a few fundamental problems that have marred Season 7 so far. For starters, it's yet another Rick solo adventure without Morty. The producers might as well strike Morty's name from the title, because he's practically a side character in Season 7. Morty arrives briefly in the second act of Air Force Wong to tell Rick about a plot development. But Morty doesn't even get to deliver the exposition. He just takes Rick to a TV where a newscaster delivers the exposition. Once Rick realizes he needs to spring into action, he doesn't bring Morty with him. He tells Morty to stay inside with the doors locked while he goes off alone. The rest of the Smiths are being ignored too. Summer has a blink and miss it cameo appearance, and Beth and Jerry are nowhere to be seen. Much like the Hangover trilogy eventually sidelined every other character to focus on Alan, Rick and Morty Season 7 is uninterested in any major character besides Rick. Like the previous Season 7 episodes, Air Force Wong relies on familiar storylines and characters instead of bringing in any original ideas. The Season 7 premiere rehashed Rick's drunken antics with his friends, and the second episode rehashed his arc of being forced to work with Jerry and gradually warming up to him. Air Force Wong rehashes Rick's rivalry with the president, which has been done to death at this point, and his on and off will they or won't they romance with Unity. Everything that's interesting about dating a hive mind was included in Unity's original appearance in the Season 2 episode Autoerotic Assimilation. Rick's skepticism about the effectiveness of therapy, his misery over his breakup with Unity, and his begrudging mutual respect for the president have all already been covered in stronger episodes. Rubens' script has some fun moments of satire with the president. He refers to Earth as America's planet, and he casually offers Dr. Wong a handgun as if he's offering a mint or a tissue. Keith David is always a delight in this role. His booming deliveries get the most out of every one-liner, but the character's major want in this episode is a 100% approval rating. And the idea of a US president who's irrationally obsessed with their approval rating hasn't been relevant since 2020. It's impressive that the producers managed to get both of the original guest voices back, Susan Sarandon as Dr. Wong and Christina Hendricks as Unity. But whereas these A-list stars got a lot to do in their previous guest spots, they're massively underutilized here. Hendricks is given the exact same role she had in her initial Rick and Morty appearance, and Sarandon is used as a deadpan sounding board for Rick as opposed to a real intellectual challenger. It's okay for Rick and Morty to bring back characters from the past as long as the writers have a real reason for bringing them back. And that's not the case with the president, Dr. Wong, or Unity in this week's disappointingly derivative installment. Season 7 is still shaping up to be Rick and Morty's worst year. Rather than salvaging the season and getting the show back on track, Air Force Wong is continuing to make all the same mistakes as the past 2 episodes. It's recycling old storylines, poking fun at outdated satirical targets. And for a show called Rick and Morty have barely shared the screen. There's still plenty of time for Season 7 to return to form, but 3 episodes in, there hasn't been a single solid episode yet.